Hey, good morning everybody. Today's July 3rd, 2023. Today I want to work on this wisteria tree. I have several videos about it already out, but the problem that I'm running into with this is I'm getting so much dead on this plant. Now I think when this plant sprouted, it's probably two plants that kind of grew together. Not really sure. But what I'd like to do today is start scratching off some of this bark, start digging back some of the dead stuff. Some of these roots and stuff are dead. I'm gonna remove those. So I'm just gonna take my knife, scratch through it, try to find the green stuff, separate it from the dead stuff, peel that back, and then I'm gonna use some Gen Seal and try to preserve it. So please stick around and see if I completely butcher this tree or if I enhance it. Several years ago, I cleaned out the hollow in this tree. I scraped it down to what felt like good solid wood again, and then I just put a stain on it. It seemed like it held up for quite some time and still seems all right, but I'm gonna try and work on that a little bit too. You can see some of this is died off here, so I'm gonna take as much of that back as I can. I'm not gonna, well, look at that, that's gonna be easy. So I'll just keep scratching through here, see if I can determine what's dead, what's alive. I have no idea what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna get started. Okay, as you see, I found some grain here, so I kind of found an edge I can start working with. I did get into a bit of root here that was still good, but I think there's another solid root here and here, so hopefully this half of the tree still has some good roots. Probably some good stuff here, and then it gets real fat, so I'm going to just kind of chew away at some of this here. Okay, I found some more live tissue here, so I'm gonna not dig into that too much and just kind of try to keep working that line. Okay, so I'm not gonna make an attempt to remove all this wood all the way back to live stuff and take all that out. I am gonna remove all this real pithy stuff, and then I'll treat it with Gen Seal, or I'll treat it again with a wood stain of some kind. But I'm just gonna keep hacking away. Okay, so here's an update on how things are going. I about have the pithy stuff removed. I'm gonna pull out my Dremel probably a little bit later and clean some more of this off. I have live tissue here. I do have to clean this up. The tools I'm using, or the tool I'm using right now, the knob cutter, is not sharp enough for this, but I'll go back and clean this up. So I do have live tissue running all the way up and around and up here and around. So and then I scratched it up here a couple places, so I think this is alive here, the bulk of this. Down here I removed a lot of this pithy stuff. I do have a couple roots in here. I'm not giving up on the fact that this thing might be tied together in there somewhere. I'll probably be able to figure that out when I repot it next. Look at this a little better with some sun. So this is what I just worked on. I got a little bit, this seems pretty solid here. I'm gonna check in on this. Got a little pit here I'm gonna clean out. Okay, so this rotten trunk went down into the soil line underneath the soil, and some of the roots of the wisteria started growing back into that rot. So I'm gonna clean this out without damaging roots as much as I possibly can. And then I have some soil, bonsai soil, that I'm gonna add back into here. You don't wanna leave rotten stuff down in the soil, but I can't repot this tree right now. And I really wasn't planning on repotting it next year, but at this point I will repot it for a couple reasons. Any of the dead stumps down in there, dead roots, I can get those out and replace with good soil. And then I can also figure out where, if these two trees are still combined or not. and maybe I can lower the soil level on this and expose the whole trunk on it. Well, this certainly looks drastically different, doesn't it? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rinse this down. I can't find my cut paste right away. I'm gonna rinse all of this down and then let it dry real well. I did find my Gen Seal, so once that kind of calluses over here a little bit and this dries a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some Gen Seal on it. I won't know what's under the surface until I repot next spring. Do you think I will still have a tree next spring? I don't know, but I'm gonna continue to give it every best chance to survive as I can. It's now been a couple hours since I really watered the wisteria down, kind of washed all those all the sawdust and stuff off of it, and I was gonna let it dry for a little bit, and in the meantime I went to the basement to get my container of Gen Seal, and instantly I started thinking to myself, there's a sewer problem down here because something stinks real bad. It took me a minute to remember that this sulfur stinks like this, but I thought I didn't open it, so what's the problem? Well, there's a little crack in the bottom of the container, and when I disturbed it, some spilled out onto my hands. I washed it off, got it all cleaned up. I think I'm ready to apply that to the tree, so let's go apply it to the tree and get this project wrapped up for today. I'll get started here. I decided I've already regretted that I didn't put gloves on. All right, I think I coated it really well. I'm gonna let it dry for 24 hours. The very last thing I'm gonna do is I have some sphagnum moss I've been soaking in water, and I'm just gonna put that on the soil surface. I'm just gonna give that sphagnum a little bit of water. I'm gonna be careful not to wash any of the Gen Seal off. Well, I'm finished for today. I've really enjoyed having this tree since I first dug it several years back. I've got a few more videos I've already posted about it. Go check them out if you haven't already seen them, or go watch them again. Anyways, I'll give you a quick up close, and then I will let you know how this tree goes on for the rest of the summer. I talked about some health issues. I'm using well water here, and I just kind of found out that my well water is high in pH, and so I'm starting to get some chlorosis problems with some of my other trees. So I've started to treat for that a little bit. That's what the yellowing is on our trees here. So we're working on adjusting the pH in there and also getting them just a little bit of iron. So hopefully we'll get that greening up again here soon. And then even though it's hot, I'm giving just a little tiny bit of fertilizer in at least every other watering or so. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to all the new subscribers, especially ever since Colin, the Boston Bonsai Idiot, gave me a shout out in that video. Really appreciate that, Colin. It's led to several more subscribers, so welcome everybody, and happy 4th. Have a great day.